Whenever I think about the villains of Toy Story, I imagine what it would be like if they actually got arrested in the real world for their crimes. But have you ever wondered, what if the law also applied to the other characters in the franchise who aren't exactly the villains? Jessie, for example. Despite having saved the day, we can't turn a blind eye to one of the main characters of Toy Story 5, Jessie. Proving that not every law enforcement officer plays by the rules, Jessie decides to go rogue and act criminally by breaking into Blaze's house without any permission whatsoever. And as if crashing at someone else's residence wasn't enough, the cowgirl even takes advantage of the situation to take the girl's horse away without any kind of authorization. In the real world, sneaking onto private property and stealing a third party's asset, in this case an equine, perfectly constitutes the crimes of breaking and entering and grand larceny, easily landing her 6 years in the dollhouse slammer right off the bat. But the cowgirl's freakout is far from over there, since during this same commotion at the house, Jessie loses her temper and assaults Smarty Pants, causing the poor guy to fall straight to the floor. Sure, he got lucky and wasn't hurt by the fall, but in the eyes of the law, the lack of serious injuries doesn't exempt her from the consequences, classifying the act as assault and battery. For laying hands on her plastic coworker without any legal justification, she would add another 1 year to her criminal rap sheet. Adding up these infractions worthy of a true Wild West outlaw, Jessie's total sentence would be 7 years in prison. The Buzz Lightyear Army. Now let's talk about a true space militia that made an appearance in Toy Story 5, the Buzz Lightyear Army. And the first major crime of this plastic elite troop happened when they simply invaded a restricted port area. Buying into the illusion that they needed to reach Star Command up in the sky, they seized control of a giant crane and operated the heavy-duty ship container handling machine without any authorization. In the real world, trespassing on a national security port facility and blindly operating extremely high-risk industrial machinery constitutes trespassing on critical infrastructure and endangering maritime transportation. Due to the imminent danger of causing a colossal disaster at the port, this fake space mission would easily get the troop 5 years in prison. But the situation takes on vibes worthy of a horror movie after an innocent little boy grabbed one of the action figures and took him to his tent while camping with his parents. And the army initiated a ruthless, tactical pursuit. And they didn't go there to just talk. The Space Rangers armed themselves to the teeth with sharp corkscrews, knives, hammers, and several other dangerous objects to break into the tent where the mom and the kids were. Okay, sure. They aborted the mission at the very last second when they noticed their buddy was fine and happy with the kids. But the intent to use extreme violence was crystal clear. Assembling an armed group with lethal tools in the dead of night to hurt civilians qualifies as armed conspiracy and attempted home invasion. For this terrifying plot at the campground, federal justice would slap another 6 years onto each soldier's sentence. But honestly, the absolute peak of this army's cruelty was reserved for our beloved sheriff. In an act of total savagery, they ambushed Woody, tied him up, and left him hanging upside down in a trap, in a position where he was almost eaten alive by Blaze's pig. Tying someone up against their will and leaving them suspended as bait to be licked by a starving animal is the textbook definition of false imprisonment aggravated by torture and attempted first-degree murder by cruel means. For these crimes, the judge would show absolutely no mercy and would sentence the space unit to a harsh 15 years in jail. Therefore, the total sentence for the Buzz Lightyear Army would be 26 years in prison.
Sheriff Woody. Now let's talk about the original leader of Andy's room, the favorite toy, and the self-proclaimed lawman. Sheriff Woody. Ironically, the sheriff is the one with one of the dirtiest rap sheets in the whole precinct. To start off, let's talk about our cowboy's most recent crime that happened in Toy Story 5, when, as you might remember, Woody and Buzz team up to commit a genuine act of police brutality and abuse of power. Desperate over Jessie's disappearance, the two corner and aggressively coerce Lilypad, demanding confessions about the cowgirl's whereabouts. The huge problem for our heroes is that in this specific case, the villain was totally innocent and had absolutely nothing to do with the disappearance. Because of this, making unfounded accusations, cornering someone, and forcing an interrogation under pressure perfectly constitutes the crimes of unlawful restraint, slander, and psychological coercion. For this shady tactic, the judge would have no pity and would easily sentence each of them to 3 years behind bars. But way before this coercion of Lilypad, there was Woody's first major crime that happens right in the very first movie and was motivated by pure jealousy. When Buzz Lightyear arrives and steals Andy's attention, Woody accidentally pushes Buzz out the second-story window straight into the front yard. Even if it was an accident, throwing someone from that height can be classified in the penal code as attempted first-degree murder with malice aforethought. For trying to unalive his own roommate, the justice system would sentence the sheriff to a heavy 15 years in jail. So Woody's total sentence would be none other than 18 years in prison. Buzz Lightyear. Did you think that just because he's an intergalactic hero, the Space Ranger would make it out of this list unscathed? You're dead wrong. Buzz's first offense happens at the gas station in the first movie. When Woody tries to explain the situation, Buzz freaks out and lunges at the sheriff, starting a violent brawl right under the truck. Starting a physical fight causing harm to your partner is the exact definition of physical assault and battery. For laying hands on his buddy, he'd get 2 years in prison. But the crime that would really land Buzz in federal prison happens in Toy Story 2. To rescue Woody, Buzz leads the break-in at Al's building. They go through the ventilation duct, destroy the air conditioning grate, and break into the apartment. That is aggravated burglary and destruction of private property. You can't just break into a citizen's apartment, even if he is a toy thief. For leading this tactical and illegal home invasion, the judge would tack on another 5 years of jail time to the Ranger's record. And, of course, we can't forget to include the same 3 years that Woody would also get if he were arrested for the coercion and threats made to Lilypad in Bonnie's room. Adding up his impulsive actions, the total sentence for our galactic hero would be 10 years in prison. To infinity and to prison, Buzz Lightyear.
Before we continue, just a quick heads up. If you also enjoy movies, series, and cartoons, click the subscribe button right now, all right?
Peep. Now let's talk about the porcelain doll who changed drastically in Toy Story 4. Peep. Living off the grid through the streets and parks, Peep completely ignored traffic laws since she drives that rigged-up motorized skunk across all the sidewalks and carnivals. Driving an unregistered, illegally modified vehicle and cruising through pedestrian-only areas is a severe traffic violation and public endangerment, getting her 2 years behind bars. However, the most serious offense of all is how she operates in the antique store. She gathers an armed group and repeatedly invades private properties, even if it is to rescue other toys, solving everything with her staff by just beating people up. Taking justice into your own hands, leading an unauthorized rescue group, constitutes forming a private militia and trespassing. For acting above the law like a porcelain vigilante, the justice system would stipulate a severe 8 years in jail. Proving that she's the black sheep of the gang, Peep's total sentence would be 10 years in prison. Ducky and Bunny. Now it's time for the most chaotic and hot-headed plushie duo in Toy Story 4, Ducky and Bunny. Their first offense happens right when they meet Buzz Lightyear at the shooting gallery booth. Feeling like the Space Ranger was a threat who was going to steal their chance of getting adopted, the two team up to cowardly kick and beat up Buzz while he was zip-tied by the hands, totally defenseless. Assaulting someone when you have them outnumbered and with no chance to defend themselves constitutes battery and aggravated assault.
For this fit of rage at the carnival, the duo would already start their sentence by getting 2 years in prison. But the worst was yet to come. Throughout the movie, Ducky and Bunny conspire and repeatedly propose to violently attack the elderly owner of the antique store, Margaret, to steal the keys to a cabinet. They detail cruel plans to jump on her face, scare her, and knock her to the ground. In the penal code, meticulously plotting out attacks against an elderly woman to steal items fits perfectly as criminal conspiracy, plotting, and inciting a crime. Even if the plan with the old lady never got past the idea phase, the conspiracy to commit robbery using violence would easily yield another 3 years in jail for the plushies. Putting together all these impulsive attitudes, the total sentence for Ducky and Bunny would be 5 years in a maximum security prison. Mr. Potato Head. Now let's talk about the most stressed out spud in the franchise, Mr. Potato Head. In the first movie, when Woody accidentally pushes Buzz out the window, who is the first one to incite chaos? Potato Head. He leads a full-blown mutiny, yelling and convincing the other toys to attack Woody and throw him out of the moving truck later on. Making public accusations, destroying someone's reputation, and organizing a lynch mob constitutes the crimes of slander, defamation, and inciting violence and a riot. Just for leading this uprising in the bedroom, the judge would easily give him 3 years behind bars. But Mr. Potato Head's master crime happens in Toy Story 2. To save Woody at the airport, he and the other toys hijack and steal the Pizza Planet delivery truck. And guess who was manning the stick shift? He was. Stealing a motor vehicle and driving it on a public road without a license, endangering the lives of dozens of drivers, is grand theft auto and reckless driving. For this plastic GTA, he'd get another 7 years behind bars. Mr. Potato Head's total sentence would be 10 years in prison.
We've reached the end of this video, but if you like having your mind blown, this is the right place. That's why we left 2 really good videos for you to click, watch, and best of all, stay with us.